All right. Welcome to another Watercolor Wednesday. My name is Gabriel Stockton, and if this is your first time, welcome to Watercolor Wednesday, where I spend some time talking about some wonderful things that we could do with our watercolors. Today, if you are excited, go ahead and grab definitely a notebook. I am going to talk about the little things that we can add to our painting that make it makes it quite exciting for the viewer, and you might enjoy doing detail work. I know I've taught a lot of you. Hey, welcome! Put in the chat where you're watching from. You guys are hopping on here. We are not doing an interview, so let me change this here. Bum, bum, bum. So we are currently living downtown, and we are having the fun experiences of um, finding parking spots and whatnot. So yeah, hey, and if you are catching this on the replay, I'm glad you're here. So today I'm gonna share. I'm gonna switch cameras just here in a second, and there was some fun stuff that I've been looking at, uh, trying to share and get you excited. Nico, what's going on, Nico? Finally had time to jump on the live. I'm glad you're here, buddy. And so there's like other things that we could put on our painting to make it more exciting. Obviously, we want to make sure that we have a clear story and a clear appearance. And we got Marie. Hello from Montreal. I'm glad you're here. And once you get your main subject and your focal point tied in, it's time then, once you have established that story, is to put supporting characters or supporting items in there. So let me switch the cameras. I'm going to go off camera for a second, and I'll be back. And hey, who else do we have here? Looking forward tonight. I'm glad you're here. Let us know where you're from. And Jim Noel, hello, hello. I'm going to switch cameras. Give me one moment here. I'm also going to turn on some more lights. And very nice, very nice. Here we go. We're going to switch the cameras. Dun, dun, dun. Last week someone asked me if that was Dora Explorer, and it's not. It's just my thinking music. So we're using this new camera, but I do have to take off the virtual background. Bum, bum, bum. And then we come over here, we turn the camera on, and whoa, look at that crazy mess over there. Oh my gosh, that will not do. So let's angle this down. Dun, dun, dun. All right. There we go. Thank you for your patience. Tighten this up. Lock it in nice and tight. And for some reason, we have a really bad shadow. Holy cow. So, grab my palette. And we've got some paper here. We've got some brushes. And, I might just kill that light, and then nice. Now we don't have a shadow. And let me grab some paper. And I'm also going to show what's very helpful is to see what I'm actually like talking about too. So I did a painting just to share with all of you what the heck I'm actually talking about. And so, bum, 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 I brought in this painting. I was in my studio today training Yvette. You guys know Yvette. She's like been here, Watercolor Wednesday. And she's going to be one of our sitters down at Spanish Village Arts Center. Right now, she's sitting for me in the studio. Today was her first day, so give her a round of applause. She did awesome. She sold one of my prints. So check out this nice little barn scene here. Let me move that forward. Bum, bum, bum. So when we're creating a painting, we have a star of our show, right? And what's going on here in this scene is it's supposed to look like we're driving by. And let me go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm from San Diego, about 15 minutes from Balboa Park. Oh, wow. We actually might be neighbors. Cool. And let me go ahead and get rid of this banner. And And you all know my email. It's info@gabrielstockton.com. So look at this stuff. Right here is like a little vehicle. And then right over here is like a little mailbox. And then look, we've got some trees here in the background. Look at this little building over here. Okay. And let me see if this other light's going to help out. Does that help? It does, just a little bit. And so there's another car over here. So when we get our wonderful barn in, then I am looking at my background. See this background? This nice far field and a grove of trees with a little bit of mist right there. Then over here, we've got a background, a grove of trees. And then we got these clouds up in here. All right. And then we've got this nice, just simple foreground. This is this little ramp that goes up into this barn here. Look at this little guy down here. This is so you don't drive on the grass. Okay. And so I got a little cone down here with a little marker. So my goal was to make a piece today where it seems like you're just driving by this barn. So many paintings I look at, people, they look like they're just standing there. And I wanted to give a sense of driving by. And, oh, hey, look at there, Mr. Tom Brown, who just found out that he got into the San Diego Watercolor Society show. Good job, buddy. I guess you're going to need to come to San Diego and come say hi. And congrats. I know you've been working so hard on trying to get into shows. So it pays off. So, with that said, let me grab another piece of paper and let me show you how we can put what I like to say tidbits, little bits and pieces of things, and I don't always draw them per se. Okay, I will paint them, and so what does it look like to just paint some of these items? And this light is leaving a glare, so I'm gonna turn it off. All right, so it kind of looks like an old-timey picture going on here. Maybe I should just paint in black and white. And so I'm gonna grab my palette. I'm gonna grab a brush. Now, when the tidbits are being made, they actually are smaller brushes. So I'm gonna grab those smaller brushes. And so I have a perla, two perlas. One's a number 8 and the other one's a number 12. And I've got this Chinese brush. Okay. And so what I want to do is just show you how you can do some of these fun, simple shapes. Let's just start with, now I'm just going to use some Lauren McCracken black, and my lovely wife got me some clean water. So when we get in here and start making little tidbits, I literally am just going to put this little marking of like, this is like a little flag, or a little, this can be a little mailbox. Okay. And then we could put this little thing up. Back in the good old days, there was this, I think the fan is making a weird, and let me turn off this fan. I'm gonna put some little grasses right here. And then if a sun is hitting this thing, there's like a little shadow. Okay. So these things are just shapes. That is basically like a little cross, right? With a little chunk of paint in there. Bum, bum, bum. I'm getting a thumbs up from Mr. Brown. I guess that's either you hear me or you're going to come to San Diego. And so, thank you. I'll open this window so we got breeze. All right, some other little tidbits of things like you saw in that painting was like a little cone. Now, I can do this with black, or I can add a little bit of orange to this. Now, I know a lot of people like painting detailed things. I only paint these like right at the end of a painting. So here's my cone. I'm going to leave a little bit of light hitting the cone right here. This is going to come up. Cones get ran over. They get knocked over. These don't have to be perfect. Okay. And it's looking a little crooked there. There we go. And, or what you can do is you can make, some of the things that we see are these like electrical boxes. So I can change that now, maybe with a little Sleeping Beauty turquoise into this like electrical box. Okay. And, some of them are taller. So you got to ask yourself, in your composition, what works better? Like the taller electrical box or, the shorter one? Whatever's going to complement the, the focus of your painting. You don't want to create things that are going to take away. And I know some of you like to put a heartbeat in there. Like maybe there's a person and maybe there's a guy standing here. So it's got to seem like believable. Like if I don't put the right height of the person in this painting, it's not going to really seem right. Like maybe he's even on a bicycle, okay? And he's trucking by on his, mountain bike. Let's put a shadow under him, okay? And we got 1 foot here, another foot lower. one foot's got to be higher, one's got to be lower. The mountain bike's got thicker tires, right? And so the other little tidbit things that we see that might need to go into a painting is a car. And we don't have to draw it. We can just get in here and paint this car. Okay, so there's the hood of the car. There's the windshield of the car. There's these things called rear view mirrors, right? There's these little lights. There's a grill, depending on what kind of car. This could be a Jeep, so maybe that's got fenders right here. And that's the spare tire. And let's bring these wheels down like this. And there's another grill, right? There's the mud flaps. Those wheels gotta go a little bit wider. Okay, this guy likes to go mudding. If you've never been mudding, you need to do it at least once. I got all that out of my system when I was a teenager, so not so much now. So we got this, and shoot, maybe he's got an antenna here. All right. Bum, bum, bum. So when we're putting in these little tidbits, maybe there's a little flag. You know, these little things are going to add some pop, okay? It's going to add like some interest. Let's put our shadow over here, okay? And you don't always have to do something on the windshield, but if I do at least a little wash over here, okay? This could be even a broken down car, or a car that's on like bricks, okay? So one of the other things is poles. You know, I can put poles in my painting. It does not have to be perfect, okay? So I was looking at some of those telephone poles out in Maryland, and they are like leaning big time. I was so surprised how these telephone poles, you know, maybe this is a street sign, okay? You know, we've got different signs. So this is like wood. This looks like wood texture to me, okay? I'm using rough paper, and you know, let's see. Let's put a sign right here. Bum, bum, bum. I need a little more paint and water on my brush now. So I'm just doing these in black and white just to get some brush miles. If there's anything that I'm seeing out there, if you're having a tough time painting, just means you just need some more time with your brush, okay? So this is like a route or a highway 66 sign right here. And you know, when I'm adding these little things in this painting, it builds a scene and makes it, I mean, look at this tree, but look at these other trees. Look at this trunk is different than that trunk. So a variety, okay? It's good to have images and things that look like things that we're familiar to and seeing. You don't have to reinvent a whole new thing every time, okay? Like, you know, like here's a head, okay? Here's a body, okay? Here's some arms, you know, and here's some legs. All right. Gonna put a shadow right under this guy. Okay. And maybe he's holding a pole. He's gonna go install, this. Maybe he's a guy that's holding a sign telling you to slow down. Work is ahead. Okay. See how I didn't fill in all these things in here? This kind of information is in the background. It's maybe off to the side of the painting. I mean, this is a good example. Look at this car off to the side of this painting. It doesn't have a lot of detail. Okay. Look at this barn over here. Look at this electrical deal. It's simplified. Simple is more important. Okay. And so, when I'm doing a building that's in the distance, I did one the other day. Here's my roof. And here is one side of the building. There was a little window here with some shadows. Okay. And then the side of the building over here was in the shade. Bum, bum, bum. So we're going to go ahead and just knock that out. So this is, we want this line to be straight though. This is a good building. Maybe there's a little chimney here. Okay. Put it a little bit onto the roof. So this is a good building, just fine for something in the distance. Okay. So do you get the sense of light? Do you get a sense of shape? This is something that could be in the back of the painting. And and for all of you who are new to Watercolor Wednesday, you definitely want to go over to my website and sign up for my newsletter. We've got an upcoming Zoom workshop just for the folks that are here. Okay. And who else is here watching? So check this out. Here's another wonderful shape. So these things we're talking about putting in the distance, adding to make our wonderful painting feel lifelike, right? And so I was looking at another vehicle. This is this car here. Maybe you've seen one of these. And here's the top of the car, like this. And then there's some wheels, right? And right down along here, I just gonna add some water. This is just a little good old cattle truck that maybe load a couple of goats in the back there. We used to have one of these. And there's a shadow. Make sure when you put that shadow that we see another wheel also here. You see that? And then we've got this window here. Okay. And for some reason, it's a little skewed. Too funny. Let me see if I can fix that camera. Oh, what'd we do? Dun, dun, dun. This kind of looks a little bit like a Simpson vehicle right now. So let me bring this here like that. And then in a nice little dark right here. There we go. And this is a truck that can be placed out in a field that is just adding ambiance. Okay, let's go over here. Now, I know some of you might want to do like a figure, right? That has a little bit of color. So, all of you that have been here with me for a while know I like moon glow. I add moon glow with a little bit of orange. Oops, I said a little bit of orange. So now when I make this person, you can get away with making a person with a smaller head and a big body. We'll make it a little bit bigger. And this guy has a little bit of color to him. Now, I can just do the moon glow just by itself. And we get someone that's in the distance here. And then he's got a little bit of a side profile. So maybe an arm is coming here. Okay. And then we've got one leg and another. And I'm perfectly fine if you're one of those people that can't do people. I think this can be learned. Okay. Where you're just looking at the shapes. Okay. Let's put this guy here. Bum, bum, bum. This guy. Let's give him some light, like he has an apron on. He's like a chef coming outside. There he is. We'll make them both chefs. How about that? Oh my goodness, Gabriel Stockton just used white on Watercolor Wednesday. I used white to make an effect, not to fix. Okay, so I'm using the white to create an effect. Okay, here's these darker feet and a shadow. This guy's a Padres fan. Sorry, guys. I know some of you are other baseball fans. That's fine. I think just for giggles, let's take some red and tie this up. Tie this one up. And there's nothing that says that you can't put just a little color on their face in the distance. Hey, we got some talking going on over here. What's going on? I like the 6 o'clock start. These little things really add life. Thank you so much. Okay, I don't know why my email keeps coming up. Oh, sorry about that. Anywho, so when you're doing some people in your piece, we're going to go for general height, okay? This guy holding up the sign while this kid's going by on his mountain bike, basically it kind of gives a good sense of movement. There's action here, right? I mean, check it out. If I were to put, what if I put the guy here like this? Bum, bum, bum. Coming like that. And here's the arm coming out a little bit further. And the other arm here, maybe he's holding something. And then the other arm, leg. And this leg. Oh, why is it so skewed today? That camera is. And what if we put the sign coming like this? And our sign is like this now. Yeah, I'm not sure what I did to the sign there. Or the camera. Uh-oh. I goofed something. Hang in there. Little technical issue here today, sorry. Well, that's alright. You know what you do? You paint it again. Let's try it this way. So, here's our dude. He's holding this sign more on an angle. This guy is super tall there. A little red in there. A little orange. Those guys are usually wearing like the yellow vest. Let's give him a yellow vest. So this guy would be in the distance. So if I did like a street scene, this guy is like down the road. There's some blue pants. And we got some comments here. All right. Hi, Gabriel from Richard, Mississippi. Finally made it to the live. I've been enjoying the replay videos a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we've got Eric Kane. Evening, everyone. Got here late. I have to catch the replay. And right on. That's wonderful. Soccer. I appreciate you stopping by. All right. So here's some other things I like to do. I'm going to grab a little blue and a little brown. And I like to do, so if this is my horizon line right here. Okay. And I've got some poles that are coming towards me. So the poles get taller towards the bottom, but as they're going back, they get shorter. See that? So these poles all stay at the same height here. Now I can show you what they look like going the other way. All right. So there's something going on here about the horizon. And this is something we can talk a little more about another time. This is coming towards us. So if I have some poles, cattle poles, like these cattle and goats and whatnot, they like to rub up against these. So then that's when they start having some variety, and they are crooked and they're wonky. Okay. The other thing you can do is put the shadow. This shadow is going to help push and pull that distance. And it doesn't hurt if there's a little zigzag back behind the poles. You get a sense of real things that are building our scene. And I know some of you are here and this is too elementary, and I apologize, but I've got to talk and share this with the masses. And so if you're not learning anything, I hope maybe what you can do is you can easily do this for me, is you can subscribe to this channel, and whenever I make a post about something, you can make a suggestion. Now, we've talked about having a class on lighthouses, and that's getting a lot of hype, and I'm totally down to do that. I'm just wondering, would you guys like it in the springtime or in the summer? I'm thinking summertime. Spring might be a little too close. Some of you might need to save up some pennies. I totally get it. See how I just made that wall? Now, you can build these things up very organically. It doesn't have to be done perfectly for these things that are just part of the ambiance for your painting. This is something that would be maybe off to the side of my painting, where it's not really necessarily the importance of the story, but that it just has something in my painting. Now, if you start putting some funky stuff over here and some crazy like details, you're gonna look at it. But if I keep this thing simple, and we have some soft edges, and I have some loose shadows, okay, it's going to just add wonderful parts to your painting. It's no different than if I were to add broccoli or French fries to the main course. You know, if you have this big, nice, juicy, steak, and then you add some other things like potatoes or peas, it's still about the steak, right? It's about the steak dinner. But you're gonna just enjoy eating the peas and the wonderful steak, or the wonderful French fries, yada yada. So having these other things in your painting is going to help make it believable. And I'll just bring this one right back that I painted for all of you earlier in my studio. I'll zoom out so you can see the whole thing. And so, bum, bum, bum. Sorry, it's a little bit darker than what it really is. We're going to dial in this new location that we're currently filming from and get it working a little nicer for you. But here's the star of the show. All this other stuff is just getting someone to look a little bit longer at the painting. Bum, bum, bum. And I'm going to come back on camera. We're at 6:51. I'm going to come back on camera. Let me turn this off real quick. I'm going to switch the cameras. Yada, yada, yada. You know, I was wondering, is anyone else, entering art competitions, and do you have any questions about these things? Like, when should you enter one? How do you know when you're ready? Um, why does it cost so much money? Stuff like that. And so we'll go over here. And so do you guys have any questions? We got a few more minutes here for Watercolor Wednesday. All 10 of you. And that would be interesting. Which would be interesting, Marie? You know, knowing sometimes it helps to have an extra pair of eyes to look at your work to decide if you're ready to enter a competition or to maybe make some prints of your work, and all right, here we go. Information about competitions. Wow, where do I start? So we've got just a few more minutes. So the main key about entering competitions is read the prospectus, okay? You want to read the prospectus and you want to follow it. So some of the things you need to follow and make sure that you do is that you want to make sure you have the correct size. If you have to frame it, now you're kind of lucky sometimes these days, or they're just virtual shows, okay? And there's the other thing is you need to make sure that if it's a watercolor show, enter the watercolor show. Don't actually enter your watercolor painting into an oil painting show, okay? Look at who is entering the shows prior to it, sometimes there's watercolor societies, and you can get into community. And so one of the things that helps is to get a mentor and to get some feedback. And that's something that I do. That's something I work with people on. That information is in my website. Over at the web page, you could sign up for getting a critique of your work and getting some feedback. All right, we got another question. Hello, all from Missouri. I forgot to turn this on earlier, but I'm glad to catch some of the live. Hey, Paula, no worries. I'm going to upload this. It automatically actually uploads after we're done here. we were just talking a little bit about competitions. You never know. You might be ready to enter it. You can enter your local fair. I did this year. Got 3 in, and it's pretty exciting because sometimes um, you get free tickets. And hey, Artie Ross, what's going on? Glad you stopped by. And so, if you would like some feedback on your artwork, I'd be willing to do like an hour consulting kind of thing where we could look at your work and talk about next steps and how to get ready. The other thing you have to look at with that prospectus, congrats on getting some artwork into the fair. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty good time. Last year was pretty humbling. I only got 1 in, and as I'm delivering my one painting, there were people in line with like 3 and 4 paintings going, "Oh my gosh, Gabriel Stockton, I follow your YouTube channel." And so I was like, "Oh my gosh." I got in my favorite piece last year, which was pretty cool. And the 3 pieces that got in this year were some of my most enjoyable, fun times. And I just got super excited to enter those pieces. And you'll find those too. And it'll just come from your heartstrings out of your hand onto the watercolor paper, and it'll be super exciting. And all the bad paintings that you did previously and all the good paintings end up into that painting. So another last cool tip that you got to do, you need to put a wire on the back of your painting. This is not just for the rules, but to save your own keister, okay? That little sawtooth that comes, don't use that. You just chuck that thing away, okay? Um, Use that for a craft project. You want to put what's called not I hooks, they're called D hooks, okay? D hooks, D dash hooks, okay? And you're going to put that with a wire on the back of your painting. I'm going to leave you with that. You will make the jurors and everybody at the art show appreciate you. You will get mad respect. And what do we got here? I will also. All right. Cool. And I'll be watching the replay later. Thank you so much. Well, I hope these little tidbits of what to put with a painting helps, okay? I know you see all this wonderful detail work on this painting behind me with the old boards and stuff. That is the very last thing that I do in a painting, friend. I don't do that at the very beginning. That is the life. And the stuff above the roof there and off to the side, the fencing, all that stuff is at the last minute when I'm ready to just leave the studio and go have dinner with the wife or go pick her up from work. And so, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Artie Ross. And I will see you all next week, all 12 of you and the rest that already came and left. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You guys really have kept this thing going. The more of you that have joined, we've been doing this since COVID, and I'm going to keep doing it as long as you show up. And hello, Springfield, Missouri. I'm a new fan, and I hope to catch this live finally. Yes, that's wonderful. And be safe. Yes, and God bless you, and you all be safe as well. Ty Gabriel. Thank you, Gabriel. Oh, thank you, Gabriel. Got it. And lovely painting. I can't wait to watch from the beginning. Have a wonderful night. I'm going to go have dinner with my good friend Amit Kapoor, who is here. I've arranged a workshop for him. He's here for 2 days before he heads off to France. So I'm going to go meet up with him. And Kevin, you all guys know Kevin. Usually Kevin's on here, but Kevin's driving Amit Kapoor to our dinner here in Little Italy. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you next week. Take care. Oh, yeah, I'm always a hard worker. Right, babe? See you later, guys. Bye. Ciao.